double Legos. But
with a big asterisk.
a big one. All right, so of course this is a Chinese interview. So how does the balance work of double orange work? Of course, legendaries.
Did they just call them oranges? That's class.
Yeah, that's pretty
I mean,
cool.
we used to call them, blues and purps, like, so just oranges.
So let's talk about the oranges.
Orange
Basically, they say, well, obviously translation here. It is still under study. We are still waiting for feedback from various channels, but what is certain is players will need to unlock double orange by increasing reputation of enlightened brokers in the new area. Of course, unlocking double orange is a count. So double legendaries is an account-wide unlock.
Now, just to go back a little bit to what you were talking about earlier, Michael, that is likely something we would have seen in a 9.2.5.
Yes.
But now we're seeing it in 9.2. So,
Better.
Yeah, better. Thank you.
This patch might not be the patch you want, and it's not exactly the patch I would want in terms of where we're going and some of the story. But if you're to apply some of these principles to a patch, maybe to 10.0, if it is coming home to Azeroth, a Dragon Isles expansion or something, then, we'd all be pretty happy to see this in that context.
Yeah, this is the groundwork for the future, basically.
Yeah. So they're account-wide. That's really good. Now, players will be able to equip 2 Legos. One of them is a Covenant Legendary. One of them is a normal.
Oh, Dakor's got some thoughts on that one, I tell you.
Has he put a little thought box in?
He is not, but he was talking to me yesterday, so I guess I can do the short version. Covenant Legendaries aren't all that great a lot of the time.
Yes.
His specific example is he's playing Holy Paladin. So the Ashen Hollow Legendary for Venthyr is one that when you leave the area of Ashen Hollow, it gets cancelled and you get a cooldown refund.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Which makes it a lot more flexible, a lot more usable in terms of, you don't want the full duration, you can move out. Or, everyone's moved out, you don't want it completely wasted. And then he immediately went, what if I get targeted by a mechanic in a raid fight after I put Ashen Hollow and I have to leave, but I need it up? Whoops. Guess I can't be a Venthyr anymore if I want to be optimal in terms of that, or I guess I don't wear a Legendary. Because if a Legendary comes with bonus stats, because of higher item level, then he's nerfed for playing Venthyr because the Legendary isn't good enough. And that's the thing where hopefully that's solved.
Yes, hopefully
that's solved, but I can see why they've done it, but it definitely comes with very, very big downsides. And it also tips the balance of Covenant, because they've freed up Covenants, but also now you're literally tied to the Covenant Legendary in this one. Thankfully, Legendary currency will come from the new zone.
Yes.
Mortis, but
Chorgast.
Gone.
Now, is Chorgast dead and gone?
Yes.
We do not know if we can take... We do not know if we can get a new Legendary from Zereth Mortis.
Yeah.
We do not know if we can upgrade a Legendary from rank 1 to 2 to 3 to whatever. So maybe Soul Ash and Soul Cinders will be something that we can Giga Farm out in 9.2. But at the very least, any Legendary upgrades that happen in 9.2 will involve no Torghast. And in addition to that, there's no new Soulbind stuff.
Well, there's updated Soulbinds, I think.
Or was
it said updated
no,
I think conduits.
I think there was something there where they say that, but I think in one of the interviews they actually go against that.
Okay.
And there's no new renown. There's no new renown bar.
Yeah, at least we know of.
Stops at they've said it stops at 80.
Oh,
yeah.
sweet.
No, renown stops at 80. So it seems like we are really just benching those. We're basically benching the systems of the Shadowlands, taking our legendaries and whatever power we have from the Shadowlands with us, and going into a patch that just doesn't have them, and I suppose has the Cypher instead, and we'll have to see what the Cypher is like.
Yeah, nice.
Because I think for the Cypher, people are kind of memeing on it, being like, oh, it's, the time getting the text. That's a pretty reductive way to look at it.
It's really funny, though.
It's funny, but it is a kind of reductive way to look at it. The design probably has more than just that. But obviously, Blizzard have opened the way for people to say something like that, because their announcement video for the patch had no systems details. We got minor systems details in random interviews from random press from random countries. Yep. Very fragmented, very, global and all of that. And you can see how there's a good bit in that, but also the bad bit is people don't know where the info is and they get confused.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault for getting confused. It's because it is confusing.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, look, it's a bit rough there. I know there's been some, like for the Night Fae Hunter Lego has got some issues as well. But yeah, look, we'll have to see how that goes. I really hope they make it any Lego, and I know there's balance concerns there. I really hope that's something they can work out, because double Lego, any Lego, and also some more balancing of the legendaries, and then the tier sets, like that could feel pretty fun. You could juice up the classes enough to have more stuff go on.
It could, but that would very much be I think it was like I was saying yesterday, here's the keys to the kingdom, go buck wild, which Corruptions ended up being. Just your characters are now OP, have fun.
Yeah, from my perspective, it's like, fuck it, what do we got to lose?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, but I guess they're okay, I agree. I was going to say they're pride developers, but not in they're too prideful, in a, that's actually fair to, shut up, watch. It's entirely fair for them to be like, no, we're not going to wreck our game design for the final patch, even though maybe it would be a good idea. So I think it's fair for them to run this way, because I mean everyone was thinking it from the very start. They're like, well, these two we're never going to get two legendaries if the legendaries are like this. There are too many overlaps that are busted, which is weird because they put the slot system in, so the slot system should have been able to counteract that, but it ultimately didn't. So I think that's maybe a bit of a oh no, we've had to change what we're doing or thinking. But yeah, at least there's a current wide, and hopefully they don't make it a big grind. That's the big fear. Hopefully they're like, yeah, if you play a couple days before the expansion, here you go. It's like if they make it raids out in 2 weeks, you have to play every day to unlock it before the raid, then I would call them stupid on Twitter. The biggest punishment I can dole out.
Oh, how will they ever survive?
Yeah.